I got offline raided again, and I have no doubts that it was done by a group, a big one. I got emptied. If I left my underwear, they probably would have taken that too. It's time to bid farewell to this base and move on. Hi everyone, and welcome to my Day in the Life series on YouTube. These videos are just about my daily play and progress in Deadside. You can follow along my journey and see what tasks I need to do for the day and some important goals I need to reach. The goal for today's video is a big one. I need to start over fresh in a new area. As you can see, my current bunker has been raided. It's been a target for a while now. I did a pretty decent job to fortify it and keep people out, but it wasn't enough. I had a lot of things stored away and nothing got left behind. That's how I know it was a big group. I made sure to take my generator, toolbox, bed and rug with me. This way I don't need to use materials to craft them again. I did make a mistake though. This bunker was way too big, especially for a solo player and especially for a newbie. My new bunker was going to be different. My first task of the day was to collect the needed materials to build and upgrade a new bunker. Close to my now old base is a woodmill area where I can pick up some scraps and hopefully transportation. At least today is my lucky day and I found a bike here. I already know where all the fuel jerry cans are, so I don't need to waste too much time here. I can collect some items, fuel up my bike and head on my way. On the map you can see in 3.2 kilometers is the place I selected to build my cabin. I have to check the map sometimes to plan out my route. On the way to my potential spot, I came across this church-looking building and of course I want to see what I can find. Unfortunately, it was a disappointing attempt, which is strange since it is an interesting looking place. Not even a sniper rifle in the tower. I also don't want to linger in one place too long because I don't want other players to find me. Unfortunately, I ran into a few speed bumps. Ultimately, I couldn't cross the river and still keep the bike. I had to continue looking for a way to cross the river. After taking care of the spot, I went on my way and looked for another crossing. On my way, I passed through a place that looks like a nice place to build a base. But I kept going because I was hesitant to build there, because it wasn't that much further from my previous base. So I kept on going. But once again I couldn't cross the river, so I looked at the map for options. I noticed that if I want to cross I'd have to go all the way back and even further before I'd find a bridge. So I decided to turn back and build a base nearby after all. This is the place I drove by as I mentioned earlier. My thinking is to build a small base here, upgrade it as much as possible, and then try to find a spot to build a main base. At least this way I have a place to return to and keep some valuables. It's a nice spot, but I wish it had a denser forest to hide my base. If I can have two bases on different sides of the map, it can be very useful. Scoping out the area for a bit, I decided where I will build this base. I want to make sure the base remains small and manageable. I want it as hidden and camouflaged as possible, not too high either. I don't want it to be a beacon that shouts "raid me". I also want to keep my storage protected and inaccessible from the outside. Having this area in my mind, I started to build my base. You will see that I like to have my storage in the middle of the base. Ideally, I want people to have to break through many walls before getting to my storage. Some footage coming up has been sped up. I wish I could build this fast in real time. Picking out where the door should be is crucial, but I think I have a good spot for it. Same as with my storage area. At this point the base was fully built out. Well, almost. I added some items to my storage, finished the outer walls and put a lock on my door. Always put a lock on your door. I'm trying to make this base as secure as possible by also putting a lock to my storage room. Here's what my base looks like now. At this point I haven't realized it yet, but I don't have a roof. So I casually start looking for a place for my bed. I also add more containers and a nice shelf to place them in, doing all of this without a roof. I continued to make changes and finally built a roof. I didn't record all of this, but here you can see a closed and upgraded cabin. But I didn't have any planks to maintain the base, so I had to head out to find planks ASAP. The nearest place I know of that I can find materials is a big Air Force base. But this base has become pretty active recently, and as a solo player I'll need to be careful not to lose any loot by dying. The goal now is to get materials like planks and sheet metal to upgrade and maintain my base. So I took the scenic route as I want to stay off the roads as much as possible. I'll tell you one thing, my driving on this game is as bad as my shooting. As I mentioned before, this is part of the Air Force base, and because there's good loot here, there's also other players here. So I have to make sure the coast is clear. It looks quiet to me, so let's go. After running around here for a while, I found some decent items but decided to go back to my base to store the items. If someone kills me, they get all my hard work. Watching back, I want to kick myself for not picking up that scrap metal next to me. I'm not making these videos to teach, but if I can teach you something, pick up scrap metal whenever you see it. Back at my base, I had enough material to at least upgrade it from a log cabin to a plank cabin. Using the wood cutter, I started cutting my logs into planks, trying to upgrade every square inch of my base. Then I tried finding a place for a metal planer, which I will use to convert scrap metal to sheet metal. Goal is to at least upgrade the storage walls, but I underestimated just how much material it takes to do that. All I could do with the scrap metal I had was to upgrade the door frame and the door to metal. Pretty useless because they will just go through an easier wall. So for the rest of the time I was playing, the goal was to collect more scrap metal and rebars to upgrade everything to sheet metal. The maximum I got to today was the door and door frame and 2 outer walls around the storage to metal. I definitely need the outside wall and roof to metal to stand a chance at resisting a raid. This is how far I've gotten today, and hopefully when I play again, my base will still be here in one piece. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. There's still a lot for me to learn. See you all in the next video. As always, take care and happy gaming.